So on the Genesis, I kept having issues with the belt popping off. So I ordered a bracket. Well, it's actually a tensioner, more so than just a bracket. But it's ICT billet. I've used a lot of their stuff on all my, pretty much every single LS swap I've done. I had some kind of bracket of theirs. This is the tensioner here. I've got this, and it's got the belt pretty tight. And then on the alternator, I've got this turnbuckle. I haven't been able to take it down the road yet. I did crank it and I didn't throw it. So, I mean, that's something, because every time I'd crank it, it would just about chunk the belt every single time. But that's it for now. Let me get back to work on it and see what else we can get done on it. So, on the Genesis, I've actually been driving it for a while, a couple weeks now. Just kind of doing little stuff to it here and there. When I first got it on the road, all I had was neutral and drive. Basically, I had to crank it to neutral, and I could pull it down into drive and take off. I didn't have reverse. I was using the factory shifter and cable and all. Well, I ended up getting it. I got a B&M shift cable, but I got that, and then the bracket for a 4L80 to the shift cable, the B&M cable. And I got it to where in here on the cable, it actually mounts very close to the way the factory cable mounts to the shifter. So I've got reverse, neutral, drive is correct. Park, it pulls it out of reverse, but it doesn't actually lock into the actual parking sprawl. So I still have to pull the e-brake. I tried to adjust it, but it's just not enough throw in the shifter to get park, reverse, neutral, and drive to where it all works correctly. If I got it to where it would go in park right, I couldn't get it to go all the way into drive. So that's one thing I had to work around. But I also, with getting it into drive and all now, when you pull it down into drive, which for some reason the shift interlock solenoid is not working. I don't know if it was working until I'd done the cable, so I don't know what happened there. But you pull it down into drive, you move it over, and it's sport mode. And you can either manually shift it, first. Well, when you pull it down and drive, it'd be in first, so second, third, fourth. Or you can use the paddle shifts. Either one works. It's basically in manual all the time. It doesn't matter. I've got to find the wires that when you swap it from drive to sport mode, I've got to find that wire so I can wire it up to the Holly. But other than that, it works. And I mean, I pretty much enjoy driving it in sport mode all the time anyway, just because I feel like it shifts too early. I haven't got the tune figured out for the transmission on how it feels, how I want it to shift in this car. But other than the shifter, that's really the only thing that I've done in here. I did mount the display. Basically went to O'Reilly's, and it's a magnetic phone holder that goes into the CD player. You just stick it in right there. This part right here is magnet. I've got a metal, I don't know if you can see that little square is metal, and it just sticks to the magnet. You can rotate it, kind of adjust it where you want. If you want to take it off, you can. So that's nice, and it's not really in the way of the radio. It kind of looks like it if you look head on, but from where I'm at, it doesn't really bother it that much. It's not in the way that much. I don't really use those buttons underneath. Mainly just, these here. These are easy to get to. The ones up here, you have to kind of look under to see it, but I don't never use those. I did get the heater working, so that's nice because it is starting to get a little chillier. Technically, I got the AC working, but I've still got wiring and stuff to do. One once I figure out the AC wiring and get that to where it's working, you know, the way it's supposed to, I can come in here and get rid of all this excess wire that I don't need anymore, because it's really ugly. I hate popping the hood and showing anybody. You know, I've had a lot of people interested in seeing it, and it just, I have to, every time I do it, I have to warn them. It's like, man, it looks ugly under there. I've got wires everywhere, and you know, hoses as well, which these are heater hoses. This is my oil, remote oil filter lines. But I still got to figure out air filter. The hose is, you know, kind of in the way there, so I may have to end up getting a different hose to route there to where I can actually put, you know, some kind of piping and all. But just like what I was saying, the AC, I did charge it, so I charged the system back, and as far as I know, it hasn't leaked back out. But you gotta hot wire it, and I don't like doing that, especially on an AC system, because you know it's supposed to cycle on and off. You're not supposed to leave it on all the time, because it'd end up freezing up, and it's not good on the compressor to run constantly, especially at higher RPMs. So the Holley's actually got a setting to where I can go in and wire it up through there, to where if I go over, I think default is 50% throttle, but I can set it, you know, 25, 75%, wherever I want to, basically, for it to kick the compressor off. So I've got to figure that wiring back out. I had it wired up like that on the truck. I just got to figure it back out how I want it set up. Other than that, this right here is the TCM. These are the wires that I had to cut. These were coming from the shifter, the paddle shifter and all, and I just wired it to the Holley. I've got to still got to clean the wires up. I found out that the Hyundai wheel bolt pattern is pretty much the exact same as the small Ford bolt pattern. Your Mustangs, your Rangers, all that take the same bolt pattern. So I'm gonna try. I mean, I don't dislike these rims, but I really want to put a radial on it, and I don't really want to buy radials for 18-inch rims. I'd rather, you know, like a 17. I don't know if I can put a 16-inch rim on here. I think that the rotor and all is too large. I have to check the measurements on that to make sure. But if I go like a 16 or 17, I feel like that's a little bit easier to find a radial for. I may have to go with 18s, but I'd rather have another set of rims, at least for the back, to put on there. That way, when I want to put them on there, literally jack the back end up, pull the street tires off, put the other ones on. I don't have to, you know, either drive it on radials all the time, or, you know, that basically what it would be. Either have to drive it on radials all the time, or I need to buy at least 2 rims that I can put the tires on, and that way I can just swap it out when I want to. But that's just kind of what I've been doing to the car. Kind of at a standstill on it right now, just trying to get other projects done, the Falcon and all done before the end of the year. So, and then, you know, you got the holidays coming up, Thanksgiving and Christmas. And then we've been doing, you know, the dirt track stuff and all, so that's been kind of taking up time too on the weekends. So it may be, you know, sometime next year before I actually get the car completely finished. But it is to the point, like I said, I've been drove it today, which is Thursday, and drove it a few times. Other than that, I actually drove it Tuesday of this week. I drove it a couple times last week, and I might drive it Next week I've got to go on kind of a trip. It's not really a trip, it's for work, but I might take it one of those days. It's like a 2-hour drive one way, kind of like what I did in the Falcon, just opposite direction. So I might try to take it on one of those days and just kind of see how it does on a long trip, because I haven't really taken it other than just to work and back. Is about the only time I really drove it. So it'd be nice to kind of get it on a long cruise and see how it does. But that's it for this video. If y'all want to see more of what I did for the shifter, let me know. Leave a comment, ask questions. If there's anything else about the car that you really want to see, let me know. I can try to hit that on the next video, kind of point that stuff out if there's anything y'all want to see. But yeah, just let me know if you like it. Hit the like button. That's gonna be it for this video. Thanks for watching. We'll see y'all next week.